Honestly, I couldn't care less about it. Like if someone whose opinion's worth listening to, then I'll listen. But here's what frustrates me, whether you put this in it or not. But you just get like pundits, just desperate to batter goalkeepers. Like biggest weakness.
Hi guys, welcome to the Beyond the Box podcast. My name is Kevin Patel.
I'm Rob Blackburn.
And our first guest is Declan McCarthy. Dec, how are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, all good. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it. You are the OG Squad's resident social media influencer. Tell us a little bit about how you got into goalkeeping, how you started out.
So I started goalkeeping pretty late. I know a lot of people talk about being a late starter, but I started at the age of 21. So that was extremely late. I've been doing goalkeeping now for 7 years. Started making videos when I first started out playing in goal. And it kind of snowballed from there. So yeah, 7 years in now, and managed to somehow turn it into a job.
So why did you get into goalkeeping? I know you went for an academy and then you turned into a goalkeeper, right? So why goalkeeping?
Yeah, so I grew up as a Bournemouth academy player from the age of 12, sort of dipped in and out of other clubs around my way, Southampton and Portsmouth being a couple. Got to 18s really with Bournemouth, which is when obviously you start making those decisions about pro contracts. And I probably physically just fell short of moving on to being a pro as a centre midfielder. Played a couple of years non-league football after falling away from Bournemouth. Played National South football, which is pretty good standard of football as a midfielder. But to be honest, I always wanted to be a goalkeeper. So even at the age of 12, when I've just signed for what was at the time probably a League Two club, and then Bournemouth went right up to the Championship. Even through all of those years, I wanted to be a goalkeeper. Not really sure why the answer to that was. I mean, I used to just chuck on a pair of gloves maybe every 6 months and jump in goal, and I was all right, to be fair, considering I never had any coaching. But I just loved the idea of I don't really know what it was. I just like the idea of jumping in goal, to be honest.
Was there a moment though when you were starting out and you kind of had that first moment of putting on the gloves where you went, oh, I could see myself doing this in the future?
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, I think there is. So my dad was previously chairman of Winchester Football Club, so a Southern League club. And at half time, I used to basically jump in goal for the players because there'd be no number two goalkeeper. So I would jump in goal when I was literally probably 12, 13 years old on a Saturday. Obviously, Bournemouth had the games on a Sunday. And I'd jump in goal for 15 minutes at half time and they'd just smash balls at me. And honestly, I loved it. Like, that's probably the oldest memory of me actually putting gloves on. But I mean, that sounds like I went in goal before 21. That was as far as it went. And that probably happened 3 or 4 times, through those years. So that was probably the moment where I probably thought, yeah, I would. That's probably what sparked it, to be honest, the idea of me wanting to go in goal. And also, I played with some good goalkeepers growing up, but I always felt like I would naturally pick it up. So when I finally did, I would probably go as far to say I was a natural, but yeah, I definitely picked it up quicker than most would.
Because it's a massive change, isn't it, going from like playing centre mid, which is obviously like 360 vision, you're playing with your feet around the entire pitch, and then you're going in goal at 12, 13 years old and just getting peppered in a shooting drill and getting muddy. Like, what was it about the shooting drills and I suppose being in that situation that you enjoyed? Was it just getting hit in the face all the time and getting muddy, or?
To be honest, I think where I started so late, I think it was more the idea of improving again, because when I grew up playing as a centre mid, I felt that technically I probably peaked. I got to the point where I'm not really going to get any better as a midfield player. But it was the idea of starting again as a goalkeeper, and you start from scratch. You've never been coached, you've never been taught, and it's not, you guys both play golf, obviously spoke about that off air, but it's that same feeling of, when things just start to click a little bit.
I've never had that, mate.
No, I don't know what that is. I mean, golf's a lot harder as well, but so I think for me, that was a huge factor of, I'm still like that now, even, I think I'm a decent goalie now, but I still have that hunger to improve and get better and actually look at the small details of it. So that was definitely a huge part of it for me.
Yeah, so I've got a question for you. So it's called Beyond the Box and it's about mindset. So the question is, what does mindset mean to you?
The first thought that pops into my head is resilience, which I think is huge for being a goalkeeper. I don't think you can have a career in goalkeeping now unless you're extremely thick-skinned or, resilient. So for me, I definitely feel like I have that built into me. I suppose starting at 21, there'd be a lot of even players I played with and coaches and stuff who would look at me going from being a decent centre mid to jumping in goal, and people definitely had their opinions. And even now, people, social media in it, they're going to have their opinions, no problem. So yeah, mindset for me is the first thing I would say is resilience. Yeah.
Okay, and you said about the social media side. So obviously, social media, there's a lot of judgment. How do you deal with the judgment on social media? How do you find it? How do you deal with it?
Honestly, I couldn't care less about it. Like if someone whose opinion's worth listening to, then I'll listen. But to be honest, the majority of hate comments or whatever, well, not that I get much, honestly. I might get 1% of people who don't like what I do, but they're usually donuts. So in terms of dealing with it, it doesn't bother me at all, to be honest.
So how did you learn to deal with it? Because obviously a lot of goalkeepers are listening to this and they struggle with like the judgment. Like we call it the 4 fears in football, right? So not meeting expectations, judgment, failure, and the unknown. So how did you learn to deal with judgment? Because that's what I see a lot of young goalies struggle with, judgment and expectation. So how do you deal with the judgment?
I think it's different. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think it's different for everybody. So for me personally, it's from within. It's myself and my drive to impress wasn't for coaches, wasn't for what is now fans or following, and it was my dad, to be honest with you. So for me, I cared more about what my dad had to say, and also for me being comfortable with how I work as a goalkeeper or how I grew up as a centre mid. Yeah, I suppose dealing with it was, it's hard to say really, because I've always been quite a confident, sure of myself person, and I know I'm a good player. I knew I was a good midfielder growing up. So for me, it was, if I could impress my dad, I would feel like I'm doing all right, because I know people say, my dad was quite hard on them growing up and stuff, but my dad was an ex-professional sportsman himself. So yeah, he was extremely hard on me, which was good. I mean, I don't have any issues with that now. I think that's what's made me how I am today, and a confident person, and a lot of backing in what I do. So yeah, I don't know if I went off topic there a little bit, but that was more. Yeah, no, that was more.
So like what you're saying about like your dad, I see even pro players now struggling with their dads. Even in the Premier League, they struggle with dads and the car journey. Like I did my car journey home when I was at Chelsea and stuff like that.
Yeah, horrendous. Yeah,
I thought I had a good game there. Dad, I did it right there, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, you were terrible. You were rubbish. And you're like, oh my god. Yeah. So why did you feel like you needed to impress your dad? Did you feel like, was it the judgment side of your dad and
I don't know,
the
really.
expectation maybe that he had on you? I told you we were going to go deep.
Yeah, no,
You weren't joking either.
I think expectation's the downfall of a lot of players who never maybe fulfill what they felt they should have. And obviously there's that expectation from partners, family members, coaches, mates, everything. But I don't know, really. I don't know. It's more so a case of you want them to be. It wasn't like expectation. It's just you want them to be, I'd say proud, not too soppy to say proud of you, but it's more just you want them to be happy with what you're doing, and that you're actually, like I used to, if I was training Tuesday, Thursday, game on a Sunday, playing for Bournemouth, but I would be physically so far off my age group. I was the smallest in my age group by a long way. So I would be doing weights on a Monday, running on a Wednesday, running on a Friday. So like, I don't know, maybe it was fulfilling that. And I definitely see now as I get older, I haven't got kids or anything, but the amount of effort my mum and dad would have put into me, having an opportunity to become a professional footballer. So yeah, I suppose it's more a case of doing them a service of, I am trying to do my best. And yeah, hopefully, I mean, it worked out fine with what I do. I didn't become a professional footballer. But yeah, that's kind of my feeling towards it anyway.
And how did you deal with what was your car journey home like?
Oh, horrendous. Am I allowed to swear? Should I not swear? Like, honestly, like, it's funny because like, I'm not saying I was the hardest life ever, because certainly not had a lovely upbringing, but like I hear some people, friends of mine, people I've played with, and they say, oh, my dad was really tough on me. My dad was an ex-boxer. So like his level of discipline for me was like way, way deeper than your generic dad who gets a little bit stroppy if you didn't score a goal or whatever. So not taking anything away from those situations either. But yeah, for me, my dad was so, he'll fucking hate me for saying, sorry, he'll hate me for saying all this now, but like he was so, yeah, like, you know, like you say about the car journey home, and I'd go home and I'd be like crying to my mum and saying, yeah, he's not taking me no more. I don't want him to, you know, he's not bringing me no more. And because I'd feel so much more relaxed with my mum watching, but my dad wanted to be involved with me progressing. So yeah, it was difficult. And I remember playing Oxford away for Bournemouth as like a under 14, say, and I was having an absolute shocker of a game. And I would just, like, you could see it if you watch the games back, because we still had games filmed, you know, I'm not that old. So we was watching the games back, and like, I would just be like scanning over to where my dad was stood, because I knew, like, I couldn't care less what the coach says, which was wrong, really. That was completely wrong. It should have been more about what my coach was thinking. But yeah, I would always be like, you know, like that all the time, thinking, God, he must be hating this because I'm playing so bad. And then when you're playing well, you get the other end of it. You know, you can't wait to get in the car, can you? If you have a blinder, you know what it's like, and you know if you've played well, and you know if you've played bad. So yeah, no, it was difficult. Yeah, for sure.
I see parents, so like me and my brother, you know my brother,
Yeah.
right? So my nephew, he's at Luton, and he's the same thing. He'll look over to his dad, and I feel like he's like a Roman emperor, and he put his hand out like this, and it'll either be one of them, and you're like, thank God for that, or it could be the other way and be like, oh dear.
Same feeling. Yeah, it's horrible.
I'll walk home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because we obviously, the age group are listening, but a lot of the things, the fear comes from like the parents, like mine did as well. Like the same thing. It wasn't about coaches. It was about what my dad thinks. And I still deal, as I said, I still deal with Premier League players now who are still dealing with things from their dads, which is crazy. But the offset is, you're more likely, if you have a stricter parent, the more likely you are to go into professional football. But it causes, there's always a upside and a downside.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask though. So your dad was that way with you in terms of being very disciplined and very strict from his boxing career, and obviously some of that translated over into the relationship that you had with him. Do you think though that maybe that's contributed to the success that you've had in terms of like your discipline to post on social media, the opportunities that you forged for yourself? Yeah,
like it's hard because I don't want to, you know, I'm not trying to come on the podcast and make it sound like I've had the horrendous upbringing, because it's not like that at all.
No, of course.
It's just that sportsman discipline. But yeah, no, 100%. Like we speak about it even now, me, my mum and my dad, and we'll say, you know, nothing can really bother me because I've grown up with my dad. So like, it's definitely shaped me to be the way I am and have the confidence I do have. And it's not delusional. I think I'm a good player, but it's like, it's more just, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's sorry, not difficult. It's easy enough for me to deal with criticism and that fear factor, if you want to call it that, because yeah, it's shaped me to be the way I am now. So, and I don't have any hard feeling towards that. Like a lot of people, like a close friend of mine, will moan about how his dad was, and you know, wish things were different. I don't wish anything was different. Like for me, I'm so happy with how my life has turned out and the way I am as a, you know, sportsman, as a person. I'm thankful, if anything. You know, I speak to my mum and my dad and I'll say, like, you know, I wouldn't change any of that. Regardless, at the time I'm crying my eyes out and, you know, everything's the worst thing ever, but that's just being a kid, isn't it, really? So yeah, no, I'm happy with how I ended up, if that makes sense.
Well, you've done all right for yourself.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, I've got a little bit of luck along the way, of course. Everybody needs that. But yeah, no, it's turned out with a life of Riley.
How do you deal with expectations? We talked about like the judgment, the criticism. And obviously you're on a big platform where you put yourself out there to be judged and criticised, which for anyone listening, I always think there should be teaching points as well in this, because like pros I work with, they worry about judgment. I'm like, well, if you want to go to the highest level, you actually need it. And you need eyes on you, right? You need to be judged. And judgment and criticism is a part of the price that you pay. And the higher you go, the higher the price you pay. So I always think podcast should be about little teaching points as well. So it's actually look forward to judgment rather than like shy away from it. And judgment
running towards it rather than running away from it.
That's exactly it. Yeah, run towards it. Like if you want to get anywhere in life, you need to be judged. You want to go for a job, you have an interview, you get judged. People are going to judge this, good or bad. That's just the way it is. People judge, and if you don't do anything and sit in your room and do nothing, people still judge you. So that's the way it is. So how do you deal with like the expectation now of, like, for example, you're playing in non-league, right?
Yeah.
And you're up there on a platform. Do you feel like there's an expectation on you to perform?
Yeah, there's added pressure, for sure, because of the league I played in last season. I'd say the majority would know who I am, because of the social media stuff. And to be honest, I mean, that's football though, to be honest with you. So like, if you turn up, the away fans are not going to be nice, are they? And if they know you make videos and, you've done all right, or you've got a following, their initial assumption is he's probably a bit of a tool and not a very good goalie, but he's whatever. So dealing with that, it doesn't bother me. I mean, it's not nice to have a load of people behind your goal saying X, Y, Z about you, but like every other goalie deals with that as well. So I'm no worse off. I'm probably just a little bit better known than the lads who play in my league as a goalkeeper or around the league. So, I deal with it okay. It's not nice when you have a clanger, because naturally everyone does. You could be a Premier League goalie or you could be a Sunday League goalie. So you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do things wrong. And when I do something wrong, it's just more highlighted. Same way that a top goalie, it would also be more highlighted. So that's fine by me. It's not, I don't know how to say it other than it's no big deal. It's part of the game. I'm not an idiot to think that I'm going to go the whole season and be perfect. I don't think, the best goalkeepers in the world, they're not stupid enough to think that either. So yeah, it's not nice being called names and all of that stuff, but you sign up for that when you're a goalkeeper, to be honest. So it's fine.
And how do you deal with mistakes? If you make a mistake, how do you deal with it?
I'm pretty good at moving on quickly. You're conscious that if I've made a mistake in the season and led to a goal or whatever. I mean, I'm pretty good at moving on fast and not lingering on it, not thinking about what could I have done. I'll look at that after the game if I filmed the game. But yeah, I deal with it okay. But like, it's easy to say, I switch off to it, but it's not that easy, is it? Sometimes, like, if you've really cost your team, and thankfully I didn't do that too much this season. But just try and move on. I don't chase the game. That's the biggest thing that I've found within goalkeeping, especially this season. If you make a mistake, you're not in control as a goalie. You can't go and, you can get the ball, but you can't go and affect the game massively. You have to be patient. You have to wait, and ultimately it might not come. You might make a stinker, and then you might play 85 minutes, not touch the ball, and that was all that happened. But I see some younger goalies more often, if they make a mistake and then they're suddenly thinking, I've got to nullify it, got to correct it, and they start coming for things like crosses that they shouldn't be going after. Yeah, it's but I mean, I get it, because you almost want to almost erase what's happened and try and oh look, I can do something good. But I think for me, if I make a mistake, it's fine, and if I don't make a save or I don't have a good rest of the game, then that was just a bad game. On to the next one, really.
I've got one more for you come in. Do you ever post your mistakes or like learning points? You said, like, for example, which was a really good point, because you got the camera, you can watch your clips back, right? And it's something we do, and you can go into feedback or judgment. So you can look at it and go, okay, maybe I could have done this, and could I have done this better, rather than just going, what most young goalies would do, go, so bad.
Yeah.
So you can go in two ways. So you make a mistake. Have you ever posted your mistakes?
Yeah, I post. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Like, again, I post mistakes because firstly it's good to see, but also naturally that performs well too. People are happy to see people mess up. So
people love
they love seeing that. Yeah, so
they do.
The negative, people love the negative.
So yeah, it's, to be honest, I've had a good season, so I've not actually had a load of mistakes to chuck in there. So but I have no problem with showing goals. What do people think perfect every week. No chance. You're never going to concede a goal. No chance. So like, yeah, I post some mistakes. It's fine. I'm not posting everything, but I don't post everything I do in the game either. So yeah, I don't have any issue with that. I put out a video at the start of the season. I basically dropped a cross under the bar. My centre backs actually helped me out and cleared it off the line. But I basically said quite literally what you were saying is it's okay. Like it's just, you know, I'll get it wrong. I'm a content creator or whatever. Premier League players get it wrong. Non-league players get it wrong. Everybody gets it wrong. So it's, you know, it's no big deal. Put it that way.
We talk a lot about this idea of acceptance mentality. So this idea that you go into games knowing that you're going to make mistakes, you're going to screw up, things are going to inevitably go wrong, and we then break it down into like macro and micro. So you're going to kick the ball off the pitch, but nothing's going to come of it, and that will be a micro mistake. Or you might drop the ball under the crossbar and it goes in the goal, and that's a macro mistake. How, and it sounds like you're in that place where, because you're in front of the camera and you've been doing it for so many years now, you're so comfortable with just failing in front of everyone. How have you got to that place? Is it just merely through experience and being in that situation over and over again? Or is it something that you've had to teach yourself over the years?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think where it's difficult for me, because when I started producing content is when I started playing in goal. So naturally you have that, like, you know, you want to still look decent. You know, you still want to look like you're a good goalie. And even in those first, say, 2 or 3 years in particular, I wouldn't have been a good goalkeeper. But I was effectively starting same way that a 12-year-old would start, you know, as a kid, and you've only just put the gloves on. It's the same for me. So, yeah, I guess those first 2 or 3 years, it would have been harder for me to accept and show mistakes. But like you said, I think I've just got so realistic with what goalkeeping is. And, you know, I was chatting to one of the guys out in America who's a pro goalkeeper, and he had the same sort of feeling that I did, is when, you know, when you're on good form, and I think every goalkeeper's been there, and you feel unstoppable, but you are conscious that there will be a bad one. You're not, you know, you're not stupid enough to think you're going to do this for the rest of your life and you're never going to make a mistake. So yeah, it's just, I think it is just that comfort from experience and, you know, doing it over and over and over again. And also probably just seeing it. Like I probably felt that because I was posting videos and I was in people's faces and stuff, I almost had to be perfect. Whereas then I start seeing, you know, I won't name people, but Premier League goalkeepers, players that are playing in the Champions League, balls go through their legs, drop catches, you know, make mistakes every week, really. You know, that's just the reality. So when I see, you know, a top goalkeeper doing it, I think, well, what have I got to worry about? I started later than the majority anyway, and I'm also not playing in the Premier League. And the thing that frustrates me more than anything is like people's understanding of the position. Unless you're a goalkeeper, I just don't think you should speculate too much on goalkeeping, because it's so hard. It's just different sport, in my opinion. So yeah, don't know if I answered your question there, but no, it's more or less.
You did 100%. I was gonna ask, like, you mentioned about what goalkeeping is, what good goalkeeping is, and like the expectations that people have of the position. Do you think, coming from an outfielder's perspective, having played midfield and then sticking the gloves on, that you had to learn what good goalkeeping was? Because, like, obviously on social media, you see all the guys, they're always posting the saves and the worldies, flying around, sidewinders everywhere. Yeah. But then you watch an Alisson or you watch a goalie on TV, and
it's nothing like that.
Yeah. Like, did you have to learn that? Or?
Yeah, I think I was talking to Miles the other day about it in America. But I think the biggest thing I've learned probably over the last 3 years is, like you said, what actual goalkeeping is. And when I first started posting stuff, I just started going in goals, so I didn't actually know. For me, I didn't have the answers to what proper goalkeeping was, because even to this day, I've never really been coached. I've had sessions put on for me, but no one's told me how to play in goal. It's all whatever I've learned along the way. But it's even like me with the content I put out now. There is an element of entertainment here and there, but the majority is I'm playing in a game, I'm training at a club with a live session, or I'm training properly. And I know the content world's getting more and more saturated, but I just feel like it's probably my fault as well, because I was definitely one. I'm still one of the biggest in the world to do it. But I just think there's too much entertainment rather than the reality of what goalkeeping is now. So yeah, even like the lads I train with, they'll probably see me more realistically the opposite to what most people see me. So when new people meet me and they want to, if it's a training session away from a club, they think I want to hit side volleys and dive into the top corner, and I'm the opposite. I would rather the session wasn't even filmed. Like, I'd rather just, let's do game realistic stuff. Let's just do, actual goalkeeping. So yeah, I had to definitely learn that along the way. And like I said, I'm probably also, it's like a double-edged sword. Like, I'm probably also a big reason why people don't necessarily actually do proper goalkeeping. So but I think over the last few years I've got a lot better at that. But yeah, I don't know if I answered it again, but
no, you did.
All right.
It's amazing that you're so self-aware to recognize that the content that you put out is a snapshot of moments in games that people then get to see on social media.
Yeah.
And we talk about this a lot in terms of like how much, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube has influenced younger goalkeepers' perceptions of what success and failure looks like. So they make that world-class save, but they make it look a little bit better than it actually is when they could have caught it because they've seen that on a TikTok or a YouTube. You're obviously very mindful of that. And you mentioned about how you'd prefer maybe just to have a normal session where things aren't filmed. How can younger goalkeepers that maybe love the sexy side of goalkeeping and the top corners, how can they start to move back into that realistic realm of, sometimes the simple catches and the simple passes, that's what good goalkeeping can also be?
Yeah, I think, again, I think that's the majority of goalkeeping. Like, I think the majority of it is around you. It's the horrible side, taking crosses, 1v1s. Very rarely do you get, like, for example, last season, I had a really decent season. I got like a player's player, manager's player, but I didn't make a single top corner save, like, in the whole season. And I had a busy season. The club got promoted, done really well. But it just, for me, everything I saved was around me. Everything I saved wasn't up in that top corner that, unfortunately, social media, there's a place for it. Don't get me wrong. It will come, and then you want to know that you can still get there if you have to. But like, it doesn't, it's all I want to say as far as it doesn't happen, but rarely happens. Even in, like, look at the Prem, it's not often you see a goalie going whatever hand, top hand, whatever, but plucking it out of the stanchion. Normally it goes in and you just go, a good goal. Like, that's how it is. But as for kids growing up now, I'd say, yeah, try and stay around good goalkeepers, try and stay around good goalkeeper coaches who really, really know what they're doing. I wouldn't go as far to say don't watch content creators because, we're not all bad as well. And, there's definitely a lot of positive education around goalkeeping on social media, which, kids don't necessarily get at their clubs. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just, it's difficult because I'm on both sides of the fence. So yeah. I am a creator, but I don't, it's hard to say. I don't really have a passion for that old stuff that I was probably doing in the first 3 or 4 years of goalkeeping. But that was also, here's what frustrates me, whether you put this in it or not. If you looked at, say, my first 3 or 4 years of goalkeeping, and if it was a little bit flashy and it was a little bit unrealistic, that's a 21-year-old who's never played in goal and never been coached. There's lads who do it now, and again, it's up to you if this goes in it. There's lads who've do it now, who are 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, who have been coached since the age of 8, right up until that point, who create content, and they know what's right and wrong, but they still do it. That to me is like, I was doing it blind, and still am really. Like, I've never been coached. So
why haven't you been coached? So I just want to pick up on that. So you say you've never been coached or had coaching.
Yeah.
How comes? Would you consider it now and start doing it now?
Yeah, if I was trying to become a professional footballer, I think I would need some coaching. Don't know though, because the reason I haven't been coached is because I've never been pursuing professional football. since I've been a goalkeeper, I've tried to play a decent level and still believe I can play a decent level now, but I haven't been striving to that, like I need a club. So, and also what I found, because I dip in and out of loads of different clubs, whether it's Football League or MLS, non-league, wherever, you know that my experience is when you go into a club, whatever coach you've got in front of you, they've got their ideal version of a goalkeeper, what they like in a goalkeeper, as do I, as do you two probably do. You might like, the old school goalie like a Neuer or, whatever. So I'm not sure coaching would even be the answer for me. I think it would be like fine tuning, and it would ultimately depend on where I play. So I wouldn't be crazy on changing everything I do, if that makes sense, because I know that if I walked into Arsenal tomorrow, the goalie might think I can't do anything with him anyway. So, that's just my feeling on being coached. I think it would be a few things that I could definitely improve on for sure, and definitely get better. But I wouldn't be trying to change what's got me so far, if that makes sense. Okay.
So you said about the things that you can improve. What do you think your biggest weaknesses are as a goalkeeper? And your biggest strength? Let's not
yeah, I'm class. Like, biggest weakness. It's a good question. I hate that question because then I'll always pause, and then it sounds like I'm saying I haven't got one. Biggest weakness. Actually, I know what the biggest weakness is for sure. And hopefully this don't go too far, because the teams we play against this season will start whatever.
You need coaching then.
Yeah. So actually, this is it though. This is actually a great point. So my biggest weakness would be, and I definitely wouldn't say it's a real weakness. I wouldn't say it's like, God, you're really struggling with it. But if you played in goal, like a straight ball over the top, where it's between the centre backs, not the right and left back, just a straight ball over the top, and it feels like it's in no man's land. It's like basically trying to stay on the front foot to actually sweep up. I can't stand doing it. It doesn't suit me. So like, for example, if you got like same way like David De Gea would play, he would sooner drop into the goal and try and make a save rather than come out like a Neuer and clatter somebody. So if you would say it's a weakness, it's definitely something I've struggled with is, and you know what it's like with managers. Everyone wants their keeper to be a sweeper keeper. Yeah. Everyone wants a keeper to play the highest line ever. I'm fine if the ball's with me and at my feet and I trust what I can do with the ball, but that straight ball over the top, and hopefully no one sees this in my league. That straight ball over the top, I think a lot of goalies would feel the same. It's just that sweeping up it's just foreign to me. Maybe it's because I played centre mid, possibly, and I'm never really running towards a ball that's this way, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's something I've, from playing games more and more, is getting a bit better at it, but it's not a strength. Most of the saves in that scenario for me was I dropped into the goal. Didn't have very many sweeping up situations, 1v1s really. I'd drop into the goal and try and make the save. Doesn't always work, but it's hindsight, isn't it?
I think after listening to this, more teams will do that.
So this is the problem.
You'll get more exposure to it.
Yeah,
so
I'll get better. Yeah,
exposure therapy, right?
Back to the coaching point though. That's so like that. And I actually, I trained with Portsmouth last season for the first, say, 4 or 5 weeks with that club. And they basically come back from Croatia, and I joined in with the first team. And I spoke to the keeper coach there, Joe Perdomo, and he's class, top keeper coach, really good guy. And I said to him, I really struggle with this. And he said the same thing. It's really hard to replicate because you can't play a game in training really. And you can't just just keep clipping balls over it because it's so false. So it's not something like, for example, if I was like, I'm really bad at 1v1s, I can work on that. But those balls over the top, it's like, well, you only get it from
a lot of variables, isn't there?
Loads of variables. And you just got to keep playing games.
Weather.
And and weather, pitches. Yeah, so that'd be my weakness. Yeah,
and strengths. Because obviously you can't have one without the other. You got to
no strengths.
As well.
I think I'm a pretty good shot stopper. Good at taking crosses. I'd say they're probably my two strengths. Which, yeah, I think I'd say so. Yeah, it'd be easy to say distribution. I wouldn't say that because, like, for me, it's like I've played centre mid. if I can't kick a ball where I want to roughly kick it, I'd be worried. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd never. It would probably be a strength compared to a lot of goalies, but I've grew up in that position, so I wouldn't be going, oh yeah, I'm really strong at that. I just think I'm just all right at kicking the ball round, really. So yeah, probably shot stopping and crosses. 1v1s could do with some work. Yeah, not the most flexible. I don't know really. Yeah.
Gotta have more weaknesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to rewind a sec, right back to those balls over the top. So like, I really struggle with that as well. Not that anyone's watching me in my league, but when those balls do come over the top and you're in the games, are you conscious of the fact that that's something that you need to work on? And is there fear there when you find yourself confronting those situations?
Probably a little bit. You wouldn't know it if you watched me play, I don't think. But I'm just always conscious of taking yourself out of the game. Like I was actually speaking to Miles about this again in America. Or it might have been another coach, to be fair. But like, I would much rather drop into the goal and have a chance than commit to something that could completely take you out of the game. So you either get sent off, he skips around you and rolls it in, or if you do it well, you get there and you clear it. But for me, I'm almost like trying to take the risk out of it. I know that if I drop into the goal, someone else might be able to get back. But there is definitely that element of I don't really want to say fear, because it's not a fear. I just would rather that didn't. Like it's my decision. It would be fear if I was getting told, say at another club, you've got to just come and get everything, or you're gonna get axed. You're coming out of it. So like, then it would probably be a fear. But my coaches trust me. The club trust me. So if they would bring it up, honestly, like even at half time, like they would say, just leave him to it, because I've had success from dropping into the goal rather than, coming out trying to sweep up and stuff. So yeah, like I'm not good at it. It's not like I'm not deluded to think I could become really good at it, maybe, but I think very, very unlikely. I'm definitely not good at that. So yeah, I just think with goalkeeping, it's just whatever you get success from. And I think we trained with Rob Elliott in Texas a couple of years ago, and I remember him saying about like technique and XYZ, and he was more or less on the same page to say like it's a results game, like it's what you get success from. So we actually talked about a crossing thing, which is like always fascinated me, to be honest. So like if you take cross from your left side, you come off your left foot and your right knee goes up. And if you get it from the right side, you go off your right foot and your left knee goes up. I could never do it off the right side, but I was determined to sort it out, and I have sorted it out. And I spoke to Rob about it in Texas, and he said, I'm the same. He's played in the Premier League. He's, he's been to the absolute highest, and he was like, I've never been able to do it. I trained with him, and he's right, you can't do it. And it's like, doesn't matter. Like, it's just a results game, isn't it? If you take crosses, why are you worried about what leg you go off? Like it's
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly that, yeah. But I mean, I wanted to sort it because I felt like it was hindering me. So I fixed that, and I'm all right at it now. But like, yeah, it's just, I think people get too caught up on technique, to be honest.
I agree. I think with a lot of goalkeeping, it depends, isn't it? There's no right or wrong. And no. I still see, this is mad, I don't want to give too much away, but Premier League goalies, they're teaching goalkeepers that I work with different catching techniques and how to catch it. This is the right way to catch it. Is there a right way? And then what they're doing is because they're trying to please a goalkeeper coach, they're trying to catch it differently and then overthinking it and dropping it. And then they're getting shouted at for dropping the ball.
Yeah.
But they've never caught it that way. It's what works for you, right?
Yeah.
It depends. Like Martin Brennan, who we've all been, we've been coached by and stuff. Like, you keep the ball out the goal. It doesn't matter how you keep it out. De Gea was unconventional. He saved a lot of balls with his feet. Where there's no, like, you keep the ball out the goal, right? But it's now a lot of it is
it's frustrating. I agree. Yeah, like especially for me starting off, and I had zero technique. I didn't know what the answer was. I didn't really know what I was going to do because I'd never played or anyone ever showed me. And I have become successful doing it on the pitch and obviously socially. I just think there's a few things that you need to be able to do, but if you can do them all and you do them a little bit unorthodox, don't worry about it. Like, I don't like you said, the problem is when you start trying to please a coach because you might be chasing a contract. It's difficult to not do that because, you know, you're trying to have a career in football. But yeah, I just think the narrative's gone too much towards, but he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that. And there's no textbook. There is no, you should do this, you should do that. It's just an opinion. Kind of like how I said about the coaches. If you put me in front of 8 coaches, 7 might hate me and 1 might think, no, I love the way he keeps. But I've just done what's worked for me and what I've got success from. It's even like that, like I'm saying about the crosses thing. Like, I wasn't getting success from taking crosses on this side of the pitch because I was trying to go off my left. And if it was a deep cross, I'd be falling over, really, if it was over my head. So you just do what you get results from. If you take crosses well and you go off 2 feet, like everyone says you can't go off 2 feet, and I agree, you probably want to avoid it. You're not going to get quite as high. But if you take every cross, why is everyone moaning? Like, what is there to worry about if you become successful? It doesn't matter.
I think there's a lot of perfectionism in goalkeeping. Like, I've worked with a couple of Championship and Premier League goalkeepers who, when they're going through their clips with their coaches, the coach will be picking out technical aspects when they're playing at the top level. They're in the elite 0.012%. So if they're making saves, even though it's not perfect, is that not still effective goalkeeping? And you see it with younger goalkeepers now as well. They've built this image in their head that when they come for crosses or when they're making saves, it has to be done with perfect technique. It has to be a catch. Yeah. But the top goalies, they don't always catch a clean cross. They're just coming out and getting something on it.
Well, and like Raya last season took a cross with one hand. He's pulled it in.
That was a joke.
Yeah, unbelievable. But like, again, like, I bet there was thousands of people going, oh yeah, but his knee weren't up.
On the keyboard
I even had one. I just put up a video within the highlights of me taking a cross, and someone from America just said, this is all wrong. Your knee's not up. You've not took short steps to get there. Like, you shouldn't be showing this. But like, it's all well and good if you're in training and everything's so controlled, and you know, you throw a ball up and I can get my knee up now because you've tossed it up. And
did you catch the cross?
This is my point. That was the whole point. Like, when you get in a game, and I think even me playing again this season, because I hadn't played for 4 years or so, once you get in a game, I'd say 90% of it goes out the window anyway. Like, I made some disgusting saves this season, not technically sound, whatever you want to call it, but you know, I was successful.
Did you save it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was the whole point. And you know, that's what I think. I even think about like I said about I didn't make a single top corner save. I probably had 3 or 4 saves that felt like training saves, where someone might cut in, flash it across goal, and you get a negative step and push and help it around the post. 3 or 4 saves. The rest were like banged at you from 10 yards and you just chuck something on it. Like, it's technique. Honestly, I'd go around in circles about technique. It's just doesn't matter. Like, it's a small part of it to me. And when you get to a good level, if you're a good goalie as well, everyone's technically pretty good, isn't they? Every good catchers of the ball, can dive, but can it translate into a game? And I think that's probably been my biggest positive since playing in goal, is that I've translated into a game well. So that was good for me.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I think the pressure to be perfect and make everything technically perfect is putting fear into goalkeepers. I think the fear, like we see it, don't we? Oh, the fear in goalkeepers and the fear to be perfect. And someone said something to me, it was really good, I've really taken on board, which is you hit perfectionism for a moment in time. You're not perfect forever. It's a moment in time. It's just one moment in time. Like, when you get that one. That's perfection. You're not perfect for the rest of it.
No.
But you could have done something, but you never know. You could have been in the wrong. That's got you to make the save. There's no right. There's a lot of not right or wrongs. And like, some of the points you're saying is completely right. Did you catch the cross? Yes. Did you save it? Yes. That's all that matters. Like, you're employed a lot of times. You're to keep the ball out the goal. That's what.
Yeah.
Right. You say old school goalkeepers annoy you. For me, he's still a new school goalkeeper.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah.
We won't mention your age.
I was Michael Seaman times. And I'm like, he's just so new school with the distribution and stuff. But you see all that and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I need to be, this is the way I need to be. But you find your own path and you find your own way.
It really frustrates me because like I always think about this regularly because I'm always going in goal, and like I make quite a lot of foot. I'll use my feet a lot if I'm saving the ball. I'm not really one because I'm quite tall to chop down there if it's tight to me. And I remember like I was training with a League One club for a few weeks or so, and I'd have like I'd make a lot of saves with my feet, and then one would go in, and if I'd gone with my foot and it's ended up in the goal, and the coach would say, just go with your hands, and I could tell he was frustrated. Or even if I made the save with my foot, I could tell he was frustrated that I wasn't going with my hands. And then I just remember always thinking, I still think about this whenever I'm in goal, if I go with my hands, right, we're 1-0 down, 100%. I know I won't save it. Like, you know in yourself what you can and can't do. And like there'd be shots that I would kick away and it won't look amazing. It won't be technically textbook. But I'd always think, okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go with my hands and we'll be 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, because it just doesn't suit me. And it's the same with De Gea. If you look at some of the foot saves he's made, I would bet money that he would also agree if I went with my hand, it would probably be a different story. We wouldn't be talking about how good that save was. It would be, 1-0 or
the one
whatever.
that comes to mind is that one in the Champions League against Real Madrid.
Stupid
like
save,
they battered him in the box.
In the Pundits, I know.
They were battering him, and then Schmeichel came on. I think he said, "You know what? Goalkeeping doesn't have to be pretty.
No.
It's effective."
Yeah,
and I think maybe we're in that era now of football where people are more concerned about how things look rather than the actual outcome that you achieve of something because of social media and TV and obviously lack of knowledge as well, and pundits as well. Yeah,
I think that's I remember Joe Hart at one point going in and doing a bit of punditry. I think he is more now as well, now that he's retired. But he was actually commenting on De Gea also, and it was a foot save, and you could see that the other pundits and presenters wanted to steer him towards talking negatively about what he's done. And he basically said he's the best in the world at making saves with his feet. I'm not, just because I'm a goalkeeper, going to sit here and say that he should do anything differently. Plus, you know what it's like if you've played in goal. Like, how different can like your reality be to when you watch something back? Do you know what I mean? So like, I've done it even this season where I've made a save and I thought, oh, that felt brilliant. That must have looked ledge. And I remember one where I thought, oh, he's hit that on the volley, and he's actually took a touch and half volleyed it. But I thought he's hit this ball first time, and then when you're in there, it's like it's just chaos, isn't it? Like when you're actually playing in goal in a game, you can't control anything really. You're just reacting to what they do. So I always think that like that reality of when you're in there is so different to just like a pundit. If you just sit and watch it, it's so easy to dissect it. But when you're in there, it's like, so you're like looking all over the place. You don't know, like it's not like you're out of your depth, but it's not a controlled environment, is it? It's horrendous, really.
Well, you're in that zone as a goalkeeper, aren't you? Like a lot of people that haven't played the position don't realise this, but when you look at it on TV, it looks a certain way, and you'll always have someone going,
could have done that.
Yeah, could have done better. They should have saved that. But in reality, you can't see the ball coming through bodies. Maybe it's deviated in the air. Like unless you've played that position, I don't think you can truly ever appreciate just how challenging it is.
Yeah, like the one I always see is like if a keeper stood, if he's not in line with the ball, and then you look at, he's basically looking around the defender. So he took a different position. He took an unnatural position. And then the pundit will say, why is he stood there? If he stands in his position he should be stood, he can't see the ball. He's bang in line with the defender. But you just get like pundits, just, oh God. Like Keane, for example. Just desperate to batter goalkeepers. Like they should have more goalies in to comment on the goalkeeping, really. Because otherwise it's just stupid, isn't it? It is just, don't you think it's just stupid? Like trying to have an outfielder tell you, it's like if a player says to me, oh, you should save that. I think, Jesus, like I don't try
Here's
and
the
tell
gloves,
you.
go and
go and goal, honestly. Like,
you said that earlier, didn't you?
Yeah. No, but honestly, it's just mental. It frustrates me, to be honest. But yeah. Well, that's because I know how hard it is. It's the hardest. I've played centre mid at an all right level. I know it's the hardest position by a mile, and I think people now are starting to agree with playing in goal is.
Well, if you make a mistake in midfield, you've got the
It's
defence
fine.
and then the goalkeeper, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot more give.
Yeah.
In the goalkeeping.
Way more. Yeah.
World position. You make a mistake, a lot of time it'll end up in a goal.
And everything's designed around scoring now. The balls are getting harder to catch. The balls are getting wobblier. Sounds like a woe me thing, doesn't it? but it is so. They want the balls to move more. It's just they just want more goals. So yeah, it's difficult.
What is it about the positioning? Because you've mentioned a lot of
negative stuff.
Yeah, negative stuff. Yeah, but also adversity. I think a lot of goalkeepers go through significant adversity in their careers, and you learn to ride that line between success and failure so often. So, like circling back to that initial question that Rob asked, what is it about goalkeeping as a whole that makes you enjoy it? Is it that line that you ride? Is it the risk reward? What is it for you that draws you to the position? What is it that makes you come back every week and put yourself through 90 minutes of what you've described as carnage?
Yeah, no, because it is really. Don't know. Probably those big moments that you do see the results of the work you've done, if that makes sense. I feel like goalkeeping is so much like maintenance and fine tuning, and when it all comes together, kind of like you were saying, that one moment of that feels like perfection. I think that's really what you strive for. And there's, I've had games this season where I think, oh, I can't keep doing this. I don't want to play football again. And then I've also had games where I think, oh, God, I do this every day. Like, this is the best thing in the world. So I think you're constantly chasing that high of, but yeah, just being successful, really. I think, and you've improved to that point, I suppose.
What is success to you? What does success mean in the goalkeeping world? Is it improvement? Is it getting higher levels? Is it more views, more followers?
I think I'm at
success.
I'm at like a midlife crisis sort of stage. So.
How old are you?
No, not really.
How old are you?
No,
I'm going through that at the moment.
19.
No, I think I'm at a different stage to where most goalkeepers and creators are collectively, really. Like, as a creator, I'm not fussed. I mean, I've got a job to do, of course, but I'm not chasing followers. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm not chasing views, really. I want to be content with what I post and what I put out. And yeah, if I like what I put out, then I'm successful in my own head, if that makes sense. Level-wise, football, I don't know, maybe if you went back a couple of years, I probably would have felt differently. But for me right now, success to me is enjoying football and actually being happy with where I'm playing. So like, even the season just gone, I've had offers to play higher. It just wasn't right for me. So I've stayed at the same club, and it's all right. It's not a bad level, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I'm involved with football. I'm passionate about football and goalkeeping, but I don't have any desire at all to be a professional footballer. And I mean, that might be because I've got a very nice gig and a nice way of life, but it just doesn't interest me. Like, the idea of being a full-time footballer, trying to chase contracts, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, for the lads who are doing it and are successful and not so successful, is no problem. But for me personally, it's chasing a contract and having somebody tell you what to do every single day, it doesn't really interest me. So yeah, no, I don't think playing higher would be a version of success for me. Maybe a little bit, but I think I could do that. So that's not the answer either. I'll get there in a minute when I find out.
I think you've answered it, really.
Yeah.
I think success is enjoying what you do.
Yeah.
And having enjoyment and fun.
Yeah.
Like, you enjoy making the content, you enjoy playing the football. Like, for me, that is
fulfillment. Well, it sounds like
it's fulfillment.
you're fulfilled, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's like, for example, if I didn't get any better at goalkeeping ever again, I'd still be happy with what I've done. So like, and if I'd ever played a higher level, I'd still be happy. And if I never got a follower ever again, it's fine. Like, it doesn't, I just want to live in all.
I'll follow you after this, don't
Oh, cheers, yeah. Thank God. Yeah. So yeah, like, I don't know really. It's just probably the age I'm at, and you start to look at everything a bit differently. I'm 28 now, and a younger Deck would have probably been like, oh, I've got to go and play in the National League or League Two or whatever, and I need to hit 1 million followers. And I couldn't care less. And that's probably not the right thing to say with the bosses behind me. But like, it doesn't bother me though. Like, I'm more, I guess I'm more interested in quality over quantity.
No, I like that. I think with enjoyment, success comes. Like, that comes anyway when you enjoy what you do. Like, I was just listening to a podcast in my 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
Just 5 hours.
Yeah. Getting here while I was stuck in traffic. Like, it was like, it's hard to beat someone having fun. That was the podcast. It was a sports psychology podcast. It's like, it's really hard to beat someone enjoying themselves and having fun. And you'll see the person who's not having fun. Like, for example, you could be grinding and being like, I don't enjoy it. I've got to do this. And is that success? Probably not. So like, if we want to do this because we enjoy what we do. We enjoy speaking to people, getting inside people's heads and just having conversations and being around good people. We enjoy that. And as long as we enjoy that, like, does the metrics matter so much?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is the metric of how many views it has, how many followers it has? Is that success, or is it, if we hated it, it doesn't really make any difference, does it? In my opinion. So.
No, I completely agree. It's different for everybody as well. Like, that might be, sounds like a similar thing, our version of success. But yeah, somebody else's version of success might be, well, I've got to go and play in the football league, and then until they do that, then they become fulfilled. But
they don't.
They don't.
No. It's because it's the next one. You never. The whole point is the hedonic treadmill, right? It's
what's next.
Yeah.
Like, but I think I get that as well. But again, I think, like, not that I'm super old, but I think I've definitely got to that point in my life where it's just, I don't know, you stop chasing. Like, it's not like you're not got any drive or ambition. I've still got loads of things I want to do, but it's just like, it is that fulfillment of everything's
it's more internal.
Yeah, it's way more internal rather than like even like some friends will say to me, you get to 1 million followers, and it almost annoys me that, like, and the same with maybe other creators and people who are coming up to do what I'm doing or have done. It almost winds me up that it's not for me to say, but it's like that people have that version of success. Like, for me, it's superficial. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's for example, why does it matter if you've got 1 million followers or none? Like, it's ego driven.
We have this conversation, don't we?
Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's really like another creator said it to me, and he'll probably know I'm talking about him anyway. It's fine. But he basically said, will you be like buzzing if you reach like 1 million followers and you whatever doing X, Y, Z? And I was like, no, like, as long as I keep doing all right, couldn't care less what I do. Like, I really couldn't, as long as I'm fulfilled and I'm happy with what I'm doing. Why does it matter if I've got 100K, 600K, 10 followers or 1 million? It just doesn't, it's just a number. It's literally just a number at the end of the day. If I can continue my life and my lifestyle and my way of life, then, well, the numbers don't really mean anything. Like you said, they're just data.
Would you still be fulfilled though if you never had any of this? Like, go back to 21-year-old Dec, who's just started playing in goal. Let's just say you never put the camera in the goal. And you never started filming content. Would you still feel the same way about the last 7 years as you do sat here right now?
I think I would have had such a different path. I think I would have, my assumption would be I would have continued to play a better level of football, may have broke in to play professional football. Probably not, because I think the fact that I don't have desire to be a professional footballer now probably tells me that it would have always burnt out at one point, which again, I think roots from that expectation and all that grinding and stuff. So, I can't imagine I would have been quite as fulfilled as I feel now. Not that everything's perfect, but it's pretty good. So probably not. But then I don't know. I might have been better off. Like, who knows? I might have progressed and played, I don't know, League One, Championship football maybe, if I was super lucky, and that'd have been all right too. But I don't know. I don't dwell on it too much. It's only when I come on the podcast because I'll really think about that. But I couldn't imagine it would have turned out as nice as my life has turned out now. Yeah. Not I'm not a bloody multi-millionaire living in Hollywood, but like, it's got a nice life. Yeah.
You enjoy and you value.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So same as us. We enjoy value. We value spending time together. We enjoy making content like this. We enjoy educating people. So you're doing the things that you value, which then fulfills you. So that's the thing. You're going away, and you probably love going away. And
like that's why I think we always say like the best times is if it's like me and Miles talk about it a lot, but it's just traveling really. And we do some coaching, and we enjoy our time when we're away. And even like this morning, we trained with Scott Loach, and it was a great morning. Like I just it's just a really nice pace, and like it's all in what you do, isn't it? And the people you're with. If I was turning up to a job I didn't like and I didn't like the people, it'd be, you're never going to be too happy, are you? So yeah, overall pretty good. Yeah.
And last few points, like for younger goalkeepers coming up, what advice would you give them for being a goalkeeper?
Try not to lose that enjoyment for it. And maybe it's hard to say don't have too much expectation because everyone's got ambitions, but I don't know, like you said earlier, it's hard to beat somebody who's having fun. So just try to always keep that like reason why you started it, and if you can do that, you probably end up all right. But yeah, again, I think the biggest killer is that expectation, whether that comes from yourself or your family. I think family's a big one, and your parents and stuff. And I see it.
People.
Oh God, it's horrible. Like I see it all the time with like, I say busy mum and dads who want to be speaking to coaches and stuff. And like, for me, my dad never spoke to coaches or anything like that. He'd just speak to me, and probably wish he did the opposite at this point. But like, or at the time, I just see young outfielders and goalies or whatever, and the parents are just killing them. They're like setting them up to fail, like, because they're trying to be pally with the coaches. And this is off topic anyway, but like, you know what I mean? It's that expectation, and they're trying to almost hurry their career along, and they think being friendly with the coaches will help. And for me, my assumption is it's probably doing the opposite, in my opinion. But anyway, that's not my advice to kids, that's to the parents. But yeah, no, I see it all the time, and I'm sure you guys probably do as well. So it's
a lot of the time the kids lose the love for the game because of the pushy parents, right? So there's so much expectation, so much pressure to go and perform and not make mistakes, that when they're on that pitch, they're in threat state, and they're just absolutely terrified of making mistakes, and they eventually lose the love for the game.
Yeah. No, I think again, like on that point, I think another piece of advice or words of wisdom, if you want to say that, it would be to know that there is more to life anyway than being a professional footballer. It's great if it all works out. Doesn't work out for a lot of people, but there's loads of other things like, you'd find love for. And I always say, if I could start again, I would try and be a golfer. And I really mean that. Like, I'd love to be a golfer. So like, for me, I've found as much love for golf as I ever have playing football. So, I wouldn't get too going down that rabbit hole of I must be a pro footballer. And you see it with parents and you see it with kids, and it's probably the downfall.
That's the retirement strategy, isn't it? When he stops making football content, it'll be golf content.
I'd love to, honestly.
Reach out.
Yeah.
On social media. Yeah. Callaway. Yeah. Need some new clubs?
Yeah. Honestly, I'd love to do that.
I do. If anyone's listening, I do. I ain't got the reach that he's got, but I need some new clubs. I'm getting 50 quid.
What did you play off? Do you have handicaps?
What, officially or unofficially?
Oh, whatever. I haven't got an official handicap. So.
I'm off like 6-7.
It's good. It's really good.
It's all right.
What are you off? Can't be that bad, can it?
You're not bad. You're good.
It depends, but I don't get to play anymore. I moved to Liverpool. When I was down south,
You've got great courses in Liverpool.
Yeah, but I've got no one to play with.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'll move to Liverpool.
I'm still trying to convince him to move to Liverpool.
Oh, really?
But
yeah,
now,
it's lovely up there.
But now, listen, someone who I'm good friends with, he's at One Glove, has just gone to Man City.
Oh, yeah, Marcus.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah.
I might have a friend who I can now play golf with, which is awesome. So hopefully, I'd say I'm 18-ish.
It's all right, that's good.
But the same thing is...
That's such a bandit handicap, by the way. He's much lower than that.
Oh, really?
No, yeah. It depends.
That's good either way, though.
It depends.
I
get play once a year. It is so hard. It's the hardest game in the world. And the ball never moves.
Yeah.
It looks, everyone who knows it seems it's so easy. I swing a club and then...
I always say this about golf. I actually had a huge argument with somebody in America about it a couple of years ago. And it's like, I say, it's the hardest in the world or whatever to, become successful. be an actual pro and, you know, have a career in golf? And they say no. But then my point would be, not from anyone I know, but you can be a pro footballer and you might slip through the net. You might just scrape your way in and earn a career, and you may not be a wonderful footballer. I think that's just the reality. I'm sure people are not deluded to think that's not the case. You can't slip through the net with golf because you've got to earn your card. You have to win a certain amount of events and do a certain amount of things to have a career in golf. So I've always said it's harder than football, but people disagree with me massively.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think that's why. I think that's why a lot of goalies go for golf, though.
Yeah,
because it's like it's an individual sport.
Oh yeah,
there's loads of pressure.
I'd love that. Yeah, I'd love the idea of an individual sport. Yeah. I love the idea of that.
Here you go. Here's one for you. I play. This is football point. I know it's golf, but it's football point. When I play with footballers, right? When I go, sometimes we go and play golf because I like to see how do they react when they shank one into the trees.
Yeah.
So it would be like they're handicap 18. And they go around, first hole's par 5, right? And they get it in 6. And then the next hole's par 4 and they get it in 5 and they're fuming. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Did you expect to go, Did you expect to go round in par? You're not a scratch golfer. Like you're 18 handicap. You're
not supposed to,
But that's the thing. They're like, if you change your expectations to go, okay, it's a par 4, but for me it's a par 5. If you then make a mistake, then you're like, oh, I've got another shot. It just changes the way you see things. And I think golf is a really good way of teaching people different aspects of like even goalkeeping. Right. There's different ways. And
I agree. I think it's massive. Yeah. Me and my mate have that exact conversation every time we finish a round of golf. Like if let's say we finish 6 over and then I say, it's all right. And I won't, you can tell I'm not really buzzing. That's good golf, really.
In the lake.
But then we always finish and say, but you know, we're not on tour. So what do you know, like if you was on tour, then
classic shout, isn't it?
Yeah, but you should be. Then you should be frustrated. But no, we're the same, really.
If that was 6 over,
you'd be buzzing.
I'd be swimming.
Oh, I'd be happy with that now.
I'd be. I don't know what I'd be doing.
I'll take 6 over, to be fair.
Same.
Way I'm playing at the moment, it's been shambles. I'll take 6 over.
Yeah, I think
you should play up there. There's some if you've not ever.
Well, no,
there's
we actually
unbelievable courses.
Liverpool
in your way.
Maybe we do a podcast on the golf course.
I
think that'd be unbelievable.
The lads mentioned that before.
Yeah.
they said about it before, but we've ended up in here. So
what a great setting, eh?
Yeah,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Good, Got to start somewhere, right? Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, mate, thank you so much for coming in. I think
thanks for having me.
We've gone a little bit deep, gone on to different conversations.
That was good. Yeah, no, it's nice. Yeah.
Probably people. It's really good to see a different side to you.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Because everyone's got their perceptions, right?
So yeah, massively.
It's always good to see that.
I'm not that bad.
Oh, you're not at all, mate. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Anything to start, mate?
No, it was just nice to hear you like talk more openly. Like obviously everyone sees all the stuff on social media, and they probably don't get to see you as a person speaking so openly about the way you see the world of goalkeeping, given the influence that you got. So yeah, I properly enjoyed that. It was wicked.
Yeah, it was good.
Me too.
Thanks for I did. Yeah, that was enjoyable. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate that.
No worries. Yeah, we'll do it again.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next episode.